I was going to say, where's my phone? But I'm using it for your camera. Hey, I think we are live. And this is Thomas Dimitrovich coming to you from the PCIC. And I have with me Mr. Nihad El Sharif.
Hi, everyone.
You are. Excellent.
No, sir, we're a little bit late today, but Tom and I had a busy day.
Yes, we did.
We'll share it with you now, but...
Yeah, we had a busy day, and so PCIC,
Petroleum and Chemical Industry Committee Conference.
Oh, that's right. There's two PCIC.
Yeah, PCIC, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the C is the committee, and then conference is not.
Yeah, so yesterday I did an update from my room, and
watched that one.
Yeah, and we're actually sitting right next to each other. So, but it's hard to get a camera to get us both, and I think it's better that we get a nice shot up front, everybody, of both of us. And I just want to make sure that I am actually live.
All platforms, yeah.
So I'm going to make sure, I'm just going to check YouTube real quick. If YouTube's working, then I'm sure that all of them are working. So your channel, and it says live.
Yeah, we're live.
We're live.
Cool.
All right. And so if anybody's out there watching, which I don't know if anybody is, but if you are, welcome to day 2. This is day 2 of PCIC.
You know, technically, day 1 is tomorrow, but we are doing pre-conference events like committees and codes and standards meetings like what we'll be sharing, but the official opening of the conference is tomorrow.
That's true. That's official. Now, so I was explaining yesterday that on Saturday, I broke my readers today. On Saturday, we do committee work, and yesterday we had the temperature monitoring for motor control centers and switchgear.
The ARC, yeah.
IEEE 1584, and Dilip gave us an overview of some of the history of 1584. We talked about 1584.1, so if you're out there and you do incident energy calculations studies, you need to have 1584.1, and we're starting to work on 1584.2, which is a revision for tables, right? 1584.2 exists.
Yeah, it's the what do you call it, like the checklist, right?
Checklist,
or,
yes.
Calculation, the information or the data that you need to have an arc flash study or calculation based on 1584.
Yep.
And just a quick thing, actually, the standards meeting started on Wednesday, I believe, or Thursday, but it's like API, the American Petroleum Institute, some standards I'm not involved with personally.
So you mean, so...
Yeah, there were other standards running, starting on, I think, Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Thursday, yeah.
Last Thursday?
Yeah.
Wow, so I came in on Friday.
I came on Friday, too.
Yeah, we both came in on Friday. Saturday were those meetings. Today, you have a bunch of things going on, but really there was one standard meeting which was on, I think, medium voltage variable frequency, or was it variable frequency drives?
Yeah, some drives meeting.
Yeah, there was a drives meeting today on a standard for drives. I did not attend that.
Yeah, me neither.
We were working, so Nihad and I were working on our IEEE paper for the electrical safety workshop. And we have 2 papers.
Yeah, part 1 and part 2. I mean, it's the same paper, but 2 parts, right?
2 parts. And we're doing it on arc fault circuit interrupters. So the part 1, correct me where I'm wrong. Part 1 covers the history, right? Covers why AFCIs came about, some of the statistics.
Yeah, the reason that we have AFCIs, like some history, like Tom said, relevant information like the definition of the material of the NMB cables and SPT, like some things that we need. I guess the reader would need to learn to understand the testing and all the theory of operation, more details that we are going to cover in part 2. So part 1 is more like setting up the stage for part 2, but part 2 has the meat.
Yeah, part 2. So part 2, and we had the toughest time just writing the introduction.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
It was 2 years to write
2 years to write the introduction for this paper. Grab that for me. Thank you.
Yeah, but there's a story behind that. It's not like 2 years we couldn't do it. So initially, this was supposed to be one paper, one part.
Yeah.
And so the title is AFCI, Arc Force Interrupter, Demystification of arc force interrupter.
Demystification.
I think it is, right? Of art. This was I want to be sophisticated. I want to kind of sound like I'm an English speaker. I'm not a native speaker. But anyways, so demystification of arc fault circuit interrupter.
Yep.
And then So the plan was to cover everything in one paper. IEEE has a limit, like a page limit, like 10, 11 pages, I think. We were up at like 15, 16 last time I changed. So obviously we couldn't include all the information, all the relevant information that Tom and I thought would be valuable for the reader or whoever interested in the topic. And like really, we wanted to have this paper as the go-to paper for AFCI. Like if anyone wants to learn about AFCI, maybe a refresher, if you're familiar with AFCI, this would have pretty much all the information that you need and enough references to direct you to get more information or things that we can cover, right? So since we're up at 16, 15 pages, Tom and I decided that, you know what, we're going to go part 1 and part 2. So part 1 is, I guess I went with the title, beginning of the, what do you call it? The beginning of the Odyssey, right? Yeah, sorry, like, yeah, Odyssey, right? The beginning of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And part 2 is theory and application.
Yeah. So part 2 is you have the theory, which is like how an AFCI detects arcing and whatnot. And then the second part of it is the product standard. So UL 1699, and we go through UL 1699 in great detail. And a lot of that, we really leveraged another paper that I wrote with Kevin Lippert. And so in that paper, we went through all of the different test methods, but we expanded a little bit further than what we did in that paper. And then the third section is on applications. And in the
before application, we have the
National Electrical Code
requirements, NEC, and the Canadian code, since I'm Canadian. So we have both.
Yeah, and that's the other cool thing is, so Nihad was able to bring in the Canadian Electrical Code and the CSA standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, that's the other aspect of this paper is you're going to get the I guess you'd call it the NFPA and UL perspective, but also the Canadian Electrical
CSA
Code,
perspective, yeah.
CSA, Canadian Standards Association, and the Canadian Electrical Code, which, well, we had a great discussion about that one too. I mean, talk about, I don't know, sometimes I think I'm just difficult. But anyway.
He's not difficult, but I mean, it was a good conversation.
Yes, hey, we got hello from Canada, Shubham Josh. You know him, right?
Yeah, no, Canada's such a small place. Everyone knows everyone.
Everybody knows everybody in Canada.
I live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's like, probably no one lives there.
That's right.
Yeah. Not that many people, anyways. But yeah, I know from Canada. I mean, we're in Denver, Colorado now, so.
That's right. We're in Denver, Colorado.
And it's interesting because remember the last live we went on together? We were in Niagara Falls.
Oh, that's right. We were in Niagara. We were in Canada at Niagara Falls for IEEE PPIC, which is the paper.
Pulp and paper.
Pulp and paper. That's
Industry
right.
Committee conference.
And I did a paper there I did an IEEE paper there with Dave DeRocher on reconditioning circuit breakers.
Right.
So this week I'm doing a paper on Thursday on National Electrical Code 2023 code changes with Kevin Arnold.
Tutorial, not paper.
It's a tutorial. That's right. It's a tutorial. So
I don't know if people, maybe they don't know the format. So for our IEEE conference, usually we have a presentation, like a paper presentation. So you write a paper that is it's a typical, similar to what Tom and I were talking about for electric safety workshop, hopefully in Reno in March.
Mm-hmm.
And the paper will be like usually anywhere between maybe 6, 7 pages, 2 column to maybe 10, 11, 12. I guess we'll be pushing it, but not more than that. And then if you submit the paper, it gets peer reviewed, and when it's accepted, you get a presentation. The presentation time is different for each conference. So here, you get like 50 minutes, I believe, and then plus 10 minutes of questions, Q&A.
So 1 hour.
1 hour. Pulp and paper conference, which I did a paper too on human performance, electric safety back in Niagara Falls. It's only 30 minutes. So you get 25 minutes or 20 to 25 minutes of worth of presentation time. And then 5 minutes Q&A. ESW, I think it's 45 minutes. So 40 minutes plus minus on presented work, and then five more minutes for Q&A.
Yep.
So you get the presentation. So this is the paper presentation, and we start our technical program here at PCIC tomorrow, Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have full days of paper presentations in the morning and afternoon. PCIC is interesting because we have multiple tracks. So I believe 5 tracks. So you have 5 papers being presented at the same time. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's a tough choice to pick which presentation to go to, because, there are 4 other presentations you have to miss.
Right.
Unlike pulp and paper or an ESW, electricity workshop, I like it better because it's one paper, one track. Everyone is attending the same thing at the same time.
That's right. Yeah.
So PCIC had twice as many papers as pulp and paper and ESW. So here, I think it's like 55 papers every year.
Yeah.
For ESW, we're 20 something.
Right.
Pulp and paper is 21 or 22.
Yep.
So these are the first 3 days that we cover all the technical papers, and they're very different topics. So on each track, would talk about a specific topic. Like we have safety track, for example. There is the production track for all the papers related to production, oil and gas, and those kind of things. There's there's the international track. So sometimes you get international paper from overseas, IEC standards, which we don't talk about acronyms. And IEC is the International Electromechanical Committee, I think it is.
Yeah, I think
IEC.
you're right.
This is not this is the IEC we talk about.
Yeah.
And there are other tracks, like there's the chemical track and there's like emerging technology. Okay. Off the top of my head, I don't remember all the tracks, but there are multiple tracks. And then on Thursday, so we conclude the official conference on Wednesday, but then on Thursday, we have tutorials. So it's tutorial day. So I believe we have 8 tutorials, 4 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, and yours is probably in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, mine is from 1 to 5. So
for 4 hours.
4-hour tutorials, and I like the tutorial platform because you've got, it's 4 hours, and you can make it as much of a working session as possible. So what we're going to end up doing for the 2023 code changes, I have way more slides than what we need, but some of those we just flip through. We go, it's really simple. If everybody in the audience gets it, then we dive deeper into those areas of the code where we get more questions. So I'm anticipating that the 2023 code change tutorial that Kevin Arnold and I are putting on will be full of a lot of interaction.
It'll be a popular one for sure.
Yeah. We've got 60 some people. We're like 10 shy of filling the room.
And I think you're still gonna get like walk-ups, because usually this is what happens. People just like tutorials, FYI, for if you're not into the format of IEEE conferences. So you register for the conference, and this gives you access to all the papers. Tutorial registration is separate. So you don't have to be registered for the conference. For example, let's say someone is local to Denver and wants to come to attend Tom's tutorial. Right. They can just sign up, and it's a separate registration. You sign up for it, pay whatever. I can't remember how much they charge for it.
It's at least $300,000, because that's how important. That's how important the 2023 code changes are.
That's how important Tom's stuff is. It's cool. But so you register for it and sign up separately if you want.
Yep.
And I believe you get a lunch as well. So lunch is included. That's right. Because it's either you have a tutorial in the morning, so you get lunch after you're done, or lunch before you start. And I guess this would be your case because you start at 1.
Yep.
And registration is open for anyone who wants to. They don't have to be part of the conference. And I guess for a presenter like Tom, you don't have to write a paper. So for the tutorial, you have handout material, but you don't have to write a technical paper. It's not peer reviewed like the papers that would be presented tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday.
So today. So Nihad and I worked on our IEEE paper for the electrical safety workshop because there's a lot of open time. There were some hospitality rooms open, and there's a lot of meet and greet opportunities to build relationships. And I always say, from an industry perspective, building relationships is critical. But one of the meetings that I sat in on was the IEEE PCIC Codes and Regulations Committee. The chair of that is Richard Holub. Vice chair is Rachel Bogaris, and then the secretary is Mr. McBride. We went, so Richard went over some of the significant changes. He talked about servicing and maintenance, reconditioning, equipment spacing, all of which I'm going to cover in my tutorial. External disconnecting means, which is the firefighters disconnect.
This is not the 6. This is 6.
And that's no. The external disconnecting means is the firefighter disconnect, and that's really a residential only, which I wasn't sure why you brought that up, but that was residential only. And there's the other thing. My slides for this are very industrial based and focused. So I did not put like 210.8A residential dwelling units, GFCI requirements. I mean, if they want to talk about it, we can.
Yeah,
But I focus on, other than residential, we focus on anything that is heavy industrials and petrochem, petroleum, industry focused. Arc flash.
I mean, there's so many changes every cycle. You can't cover them in 4 hours. Like, there's no way.
Right, right. So then servicing of equipment and reconditioning, that was another good discussion that we had in the meeting today. So that's 110.17 and 110.20. Spaces about electrical equipment, that's another big area for changes in 2023, because they are expanding the requirements for open doors and the amount of space that you need. 240.6.
And this driven by 70E, like the spacing?
Well, working space.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, working space, think about risk. This is what I always do. I always talk about risk. Risk is likelihood and severity. So what you want to do is impact one of the two. You're either reducing the likelihood of an event occurring or the severity of the event when it occurs. So what working space does for you, it reduces the likelihood. So is it related to 70E? Yeah, it was driven by the IBEW.
Yeah.
Right. And just for ease and egress and all that good stuff. 240.6 is a cybersecurity discussion. So we had that discussion, but he did leave out, and he didn't realize, I don't know if he, because one public comment in the 708, Article 708 for critical operation power systems, did not pass the panel. And then somebody filed a notice of intent to make a motion from the floor, which became a certified amending motion. And then it was accepted from the floor to add back in the cybersecurity in Article 708 in the annual meeting. And then that 708 requirement was reviewed by the panel, and the panel accepted it, and then it was reviewed by Standards Council, and everybody accepted that. So that actually went into 708. So there's 3 locations where you have a specific cybersecurity requirement: 240, which is 240.6, 708, I can't remember the number, and then 110. 110 with regard to inspections. So and that's all covered in the 2023 code changes. They talked a little bit about a new table 13 in Chapter 9 for hazardous locations. And then there's a gentleman who gave the presentation on the Canadian electrical code. He did a great job. There's a lot of great material that he shared with that in that regard.
Do you remember who wrote this? Because I missed that meeting, and I will.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, so I couldn't make it to that meeting because at the same time, I had to go to a vendors meeting, and what the vendor, I guess, corporate supporters, what I call it. So part of our conference is we don't have an expo per se or like a trade show, but we have hospitality suites, we have social events, and this is kind of our corporate supporters, vendors sponsor those events. Like Eaton is sponsoring one of the. Eaton has a hospitality suite every night, so starting from Sunday till Wednesday, our closing day, and. So I was in charge. I'm on the organizing committee of this year's conference, the PCIC Denver, and my job was to, I guess, bug vendors and get money from them. So we had a meeting with our vendors just to kind of make sure that everything is going smooth and so forth, and just everybody's happy. And
he has no black eyes, so everything went fine.
Well, I guess I'm good at faking it. So
okay, all right.
I made them think that I did a good job, but I know they said I did, but I'm not sure if I did a good job.
All right. So then they discussed possible public inputs for 2026. So that's the other thing. You got to start thinking now about public inputs for 2026 code cycle while the 2023 cycle is fresh in your mind. So they went through a list of possible public inputs and they assigned people. And then also they went through the IEEE representation on code making panels. There are quite a few openings for alternates and 2 panels. Panel 7 is one of them, and I think panel 12 does not have IEEE representation. So if there is someone out there who's a member of the IEEE who wants to get involved, let me know. I'll get you in touch, or let Nihad know. We will get you in touch with the right people to possibly get you looked at as
I'm on panel 2
volunteer
for IEEE.
That's
I
right.
don't have an alternate. So probably panel 2 was on the list. I missed the meeting, but yeah, I don't have an alternate, so it's just me.
Yep.
So if I'm
Panel
hit by a
2,
bus or something, then IEEE has no representation.
the proverbial beer truck.
Yeah.
All right. And then the,
yeah, and just one quick thing, I guess maybe I should clarify this. So, and Tom, you know this, public inputs, anyone can put forward or submit a public input to an FPA. But what Tom was referring to, like this is the process if you would like your public input to be endorsed by IEEE. So if the, you kind of go through the process like Tom mentioned and have, your public input, I guess, voted on and accepted by PCIC, then it will be submitted like to someone like myself, for example, representing panel 2. If it goes through the proper channels, and it's not going to be my public input or Tom's public input, this will be an IEEE public input versus your personal public input. Doesn't mean that you can submit your public input on your own, but I guess it's just another way of maybe trying to add more weight to public input.
and that's, I think that's a significant thing, is it adds more weight, because when it comes from an organization, your public input or comment, when it comes from an organization, they know, and everybody else on the panel understands, that that public input is not just of, say, Nihad El Sharif. It is endorsed by all of the other members who are associated with IEEE. It used to be SA. Now it's
it's IEEE IAS/PS.
IAS/P.
PS. So IAS is Industry Application Society, which is what PCIC is under. PS is Power and Energy Society.
Okay.
So it's more the utility kind of thing. But
Yep.
out of the, I guess we have 18 panels. The majority of the panels or representation, they call them IEEE external representation, like EREP, external representative.
Yep.
And I think we only have maybe 1 or 2 representatives who are PS members. The majority of us are IS, because Industry Application Society
IAS, right?
is more relevant. The NEC, National Electric Code, is more relevant to Industry Application Society. The PS people, like the Power and Energy Society, they're kind of more like a sister society for IS, but their focus more is on the like utility, like power generation. So you get like people like the big utilities and the reliability kind of, like power systems, power network, power networks and power generation. So yeah, I mean, as you may know, the National Electric Code is more focused on the distribution side of things. Like the NEC does not address any concerns of a utility kind of, unless they own some property that fits under the scope of IEEE.
Right.
They have their, what's the name of the National Electric Safety Standard, NE something?
NESC, National Electric Safety Code.
Thank you, yeah. So this is more the utility side of code on the utility side. So.
All right, so that was today. Now, for the rest of the week, I'll just talk about tomorrow, because we're going to go live. I'm going to go, and hopefully both of us will go live each day to give you an update on what's going on. So tomorrow, we've got some conference breakfast. We've got registration that's open up early at 7 a.m. You have guest orientation, and then we get into the general session, reflections on a 50-year journey in electrical safety. That's going to be a presentation. Integrating renewable energy behind the meter in upstream oil and gas operations, part 1. We have spacing between substations and liquid type transformers. How close is too close? There's a tour. Where's the tour at? Oh, that's a guest.
Okay,
that's
those are for the guests. So guests are the companions, so they're not registered for the conference, but they're registered as a guest for someone who is attending the conference.
Yeah, so you can bring your significant other, and they can go out and explore and be a part of that program.
And just a quick comment, the general session, what Tom mentioned, this is the only time that we only have 1 track at a time. So it's general, and usually PCIC technically maybe picks maybe 3 papers, 4 papers, I can't remember the exact number, but let's say 3 to 4 papers every year, and they deem them as more of a general interest. So everyone gets to go to those papers, and then after that, usually in the afternoon, we kind of branch off to different tracks.
Right. So here's, for example, chemistry, Chem, solving the synchronization problem of line start permanent magnet motors. It's CHEM. Then they got general lightning protection at petrochemical facilities, part 3. Mining, MINE, right?
Yeah, this is a new one,
That's a new one. Advanced electric mining dredge designs. REF. What's REF? Refinery. How to specify a motor with the smorgasbord of standards. I want to go to that one. What's TRAN?
Transmission.
Transmission. Decarbonizing
Transportation, not transportation.
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 Decarbonizing turbine-powered oil and gas processes with electrical adjustable speed drive systems.
And by the way, what Tom is reading off, this is the app. So the PCIC
Yeah.
has an app,
Yep.
and the app has all the information. And Tom was just kind of
Then you
highlighting
got-
the events that he wants to go
Then
to.
you
And you
have-
have your own calendar.
I just want to get through the list. Motor and drive assessment leads to energy savings for power drive systems, extending the operating life of critical high voltage motors, matrix converters, challenges and solutions. Oh my gosh, there is a ton. There is a
This is
ton.
only for tomorrow.
This is just tomorrow. Now, to your point, there are different tracks. So you can go to mining, you can go to refinery, you can go to transportation. So, and you look at the titles, you can read the outline, the abstracts.
are posted on us, and the definition of each subcommittee is on the PCIC committee website. So if you're wondering what the transportation subcommittee would cover, there's a description of what topics that they cover.
Yeah, so we got with David Engelhardt. I have a PI for 406 for receptacles adjacent to bathtubs and showers. That language still needs clarification. David, get it in. Send it over to me. I'd love to see if I can help you develop that too. Okay, so Patrick Shaw, 3 papers in the morning session in general stream. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, usually there's 3 or 4. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, so look, you have 8:15, 9:15, but I also noticed that at, like, for example, 2 o'clock, chem, and then look, gen, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, the 2 tracks running at the same time, right? So
And the
this would be
3,
a subcommittee.
mining is 2 o'clock.
I think there are 5 tracks in general, like running at the
Yeah,
same
so at the same time, you have chem, gen, which I thought general, everybody went to general. Apparently not.
No, they're not.
Or is that generation?
No, generation, not general. General is what they have a different terminology for general.
Where's the general then? So all of these are gen.
I think gen is generation, but I don't know what general is.
I don't know.
So the
That's really
general-
weird.
Yeah, I mean, I have to check the.
So at 2 o'clock, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks,
There's 5 tracks.
and you just pick which one. Now, these papers aren't repeated. So if you see 2 papers going on at 2 o'clock, it's not like there's like multiple times these papers are delivered. So what you do get as part of your registration is a copy of all of the papers. You don't get a video of the presenters, but you get a copy of the papers. Do we get the PowerPoints?
I believe this year you should. It's downloadable through the app, I think.
So through the app, we believe you might be able to get the.
But then, Tom, to your point,
presentations.
general session is in the morning. So if this is at 1 o'clock,
And
the
I
general
think-
session would be in the morning.
That's what Pratik was saying.
it's in the morning,
The
not the
general sessions are in the morning. So
So
Great.
you're not going to be overlapping with these guys.
yeah, and I noticed that the morning session is 8:15, 9:15, and then 10:15.
Yeah,
So 1 hour.
Like an hour. And there'll be
each.
like an opening remarks at the
Yeah,
beginning,
and then
like our chair.
afternoon you have 5 tracks.
And then, like, if you know safety is missing, because safety, I think it would start tomorrow.
Right. So
sorry,
you have
Tuesday.
2 o'clock track, 5 tracks at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 tracks at 3 o'clock, 4 is 5 tracks, and then 5 o'clock is your hospitality events. So 3M, Architect, Burns and McDonald, Chloride North America, Doble Engineering, Easy Power, Eaton, Emerson Appleton Group, EN Engineering. These are all 5 o'clock hospitality rooms. Exertherm, GE Social Event, Graybar, Hubble, HVPD, Iris Power, Littlefuse, Okonite, Powell's Social Event, Schweitzer Engineering, and then WEG. So, and then there's a Monday night conference at 6. So the difference, and I was explaining this yesterday, Nihat, the difference with this event is there's no trade show.
No.
They have hospitality rooms. And in some cases, the hospitality rooms may have product, but it may be that they don't have product. They just have a chance to meet people from that organization, and you could talk shop.
Yeah, sometimes they have demos, or sometimes they have it's like marketing documents, like just like
Right.
manuals and so forth. But it's mainly a time for, because the evening, just gonna go out and I guess show appreciation to our vendors because they're supporting our conference. Of course,
Right.
they pay money for those rooms, and this money is used for all the food. There's no shortage of food at PCIC.
No, there's no shortage of food.
So all this is like generously covered by our corporate supporters. Like Eaton is one of them. Of course, Tom just went through a list. And Tuesday, Wednesday, we have more vendors. So sometimes you get a vendor, a corporate supporter, running the suite for 1 or 2 nights consecutively, even 4 nights sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get a vendor who starts, let's say, on Wednesday or Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So we have different vendors and different corporate supporters. And this is just again a time for for vendors to meet their customers,
Yep.
whether they're existing customers or potential customers. Just kind of network, make some business, and there are always drinks and food. So a lot of food, because every room would have food, and you go there visiting for food. You get that's all a good time to see.
So in other words, you are
friends.
not going to lose weight.
Oh yeah, we gain a lot of weight because you go to visit vendor A, and then you just have some drinks and food, and then you go to the next room, vendor B. They have food, and it's just like you can just say, "Oh, I'm not going to eat your food."
Yes, and Patrick says Event Mobi is an app. Yes, and it's got. So I'll give you a little snapshot.
Yes.
So Event Mobi has a list of all of the programs, and what you can do in Event Mobi, you can click on the right and add them to your calendar, so you can pick and choose what you want to attend, and then look at your calendar so that you know where to go and when to make sure that you go to those events. So you can pick through the each day and see the information that you want. Now, where is the?
Like you can plan ahead.
Where is yours? Like
the hospitality, or is you looking for what?
No, like my agenda. So I picked a couple.
Your agenda, yeah.
There's the conference agenda, but where is mine?
I think it's
Your agenda.
Yeah.
So you have to click on the little icon up at the right, and it says your agenda, and it highlights everything that you have selected that you want to attend, and it makes life so easy. It puts the location. It puts I want P2969 was in Ballroom D, and I believe.
This is what we did yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's what we did yesterday. So Ballroom D, there's even a map. Whoop, I'll get it later. There's even a map that tells you exactly where that ballroom is at. So
it's a fancy 3D.
It's a fancy 3D map. So the Event Mobi app is a free download, but you have to be registered with the event to be able to access that information.
It requires your email, and of course the email is checked.
Right, because I didn't register with my Eaton email. I registered with my Gmail account. So when I put my Eaton email address, it said you're not allowed, and I panicked because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, did I register? Because it was before I picked up my stuff. But then I remembered. But yeah, the Event Mobi app is critical. So if you're at this event, you should definitely get your Event Mobi app, and remember to go to the IEEE Electrical Safety Workshop and get your mouse pad next
and
year.
And you get to watch Tom and I presenting twice.
And we are going to be presenting.
And a presentation.
Yeah, so we're going to have a poster next year, and we're going to have a presentation. Yeah, so that'll be perfect. All right, so are we good?
I think so, yeah. We probably covered everything. I mean, like today wasn't as busy as yesterday. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day.
No, but we did. So we spent like 4 hours working on our paper.
It's supposed to be a half hour.
I know we were going to look like, hey, let's just get together, go through some changes, but we spent 4 hours.
And the paper it's not. We're not writing a paper. It's ready. We're just going through the final bits and pieces, like just make sure that we proofread everything. I had some comments, and Tom sent me his comments, so I'm merging them together.
Yeah, and we had some comments from UL.
And from our friends from UL. So so we're merging everything, make sure that everything looks good. Because we have another week before the draft is due. We're in good shape, so we'll be able to submit it on time.
Thanks to him.
Oh, no.
Thanks to him. So anyway.
It was team efforts, teamwork.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you. Put it this way. He's the heavy lifter. I'm like the butterfly that's flying around everywhere.
You're the smart brain. Like I do the what do you call it? Like the
heavy lifting.
No, like the work that is like
the work. He does the work.
No, not the work. I can't think of the word now.
You said it. You do the work.
It's just like the donkey work.
The donkey work.
I can't think of a word.
Anyway,
it's like the work that anyone would do.
All right. Thanks for joining in. We'll go live tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm thinking. I gotta look at the schedule.
We have a lunch tomorrow. I think the awards lunch tomorrow, so we won't be able to skip lunch. Because I was thinking maybe we could do it at lunch.
Yeah, there's an awards lunch tomorrow.
But the thing is, lunch is just not gonna be. I mean, this would be Mountain Time, not Eastern Time. So it'll be like 2 p.m. our lunch.
Yeah, that's right. So if you're on Eastern time, we're 2 hours behind you. But
we could try to go during the morning after the opening remarks, and I don't know.
But I want to talk about what we did that day. So we're going to go later, and you're probably watching this on Monday, and we recorded it on Sunday. So except for Pratik, he's watching it right now on LinkedIn. Sweet. You got to get over to the YouTube. Got to get over to YouTube.
So maybe what we can do is we should maybe wait until closer to the end of the
Yeah,
day.
end
It
of
would
the
be
day.
like late for our Eastern friends, but it would be our time zone, Mountain and Pacific would be like during the day
That's perfect.
to
All right.
cover over everything.
So that is what we will do. So hopefully all of you
We'll be your
can.
anchors, like news reporters at the IEEE PCIC 2022
Yeah.
Denver, Colorado.
That's right.
United
That's
States of
right.
America.
Yeah, coming live to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Thomas Dimitrovich and.
Nihad El Sharif.
And we appreciate you tuning in,
Right.
and we will
Thank
talk
you for
to
your
you
time.
tomorrow. Thanks for your time.
And we hope to see you at East W or next future PCIC.
Yes.
Just, if you're not involved, highly recommend it. It's a great organization.
And if you want to get involved, reach out to either of us. Send me an email.
sure.
LinkedIn, connect with both of us on LinkedIn. You know our names. You can do a search. So, all right, that's it. Final remarks?
No, I think it's been a lot of fun so far, and we're looking forward to more fun when we get more friends coming, because Saturday and Sunday are more people are flying in. Hopefully
Yeah.
by tomorrow we get everybody back. I'm excited because I haven't seen some of these guys for 3 years since Vancouver. There's no COVID.
Yeah.
Like this is last 2020 there was no
right.
conference. 2021 it was in San Antonio, but it was a very small group because of travel restriction. So this is kind of the first time that we're all back together since 2019 conference in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It was pretty cool
Excellent.
there. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you for your time. You guys have a great evening.
Have a great evening, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and please stay healthy.
healthy.
God bless.
Yeah,
All right. That was pretty good.
it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.